So I think the lesson here is that all dates are not created equal. Hey everyone, my name is Alex Haney, and this is the place for outdoorsy queers to learn about things like the wilderness and camping and all that kind of stuff. Today is Tuesday, which means it's time for another video with me, another tutorial. And this week what I want to do with you guys is make homemade Larabars. If you don't know what Larabars are, they are a really awesome type of energy bar that you can buy that are completely natural, sugar-free, all that stuff, and they're just loaded with good stuff. They come with in all these different flavors, and I really love them. So what I'm going to do today is make 2 batches with you guys. I'm going to be making coconut cream, which is my favorite, as well as lemon. And I'm actually going to be following a recipe for this that I found online, and I'll link that down below. So these are the ingredients for the 2 different kinds of bars I'm making. Almonds, these are raw almonds, raw cashews, unsweetened coconut, shredded coconut, and we have dates here. Oh yeah, there's lemons for the lemon bars. You'll also need a food processor. Mine is really tiny because, in case you haven't noticed, this is my entire kitchen. Tiny kitchen, tiny food processor, and I have to do this thing in tiny little batches. I can't even mix up a whole batch, but I'll show you what I do in a second. Okay, so you'll need a cutting board and knife for pitting the dates if they're not pitted already, a measuring cup, and some kind of loaf pan or pan that you can line with either plastic wrap or parchment paper with a bit of oil on it, so that you can shape it in here and it won't stick. Oh yeah, you'll also need some kind of container to soak the dates in. So that's going to be our first step. So I'm just going to fill up this container with warm water, about 1 cup. Now open up our package of dates. So it looks like my dates have been pre-pitted, which is awesome. So now what we're going to do is just measure out a cup of those, and we're just going to let those soak in the warm water for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to start with the coconut cream Larabars. So each batch makes 6 bars and use 2 cups of raw cashews. So I'm just going to throw those into my food processor, and it can pretty much only handle that amount of nuts. Pulse them until they're pretty fine, but not like pasty. And this is where having like a little tiny food processor is not that great, because usually what you do is keep those in the food processor and then process the rest of the stuff with them. But since I can only handle like a cup of stuff, I throw these in a bowl. Actually, I could have processed those a bit more, but it's all good. So I'm just throwing those into a bowl, and I'm gonna process the dates separately. And the coconut cream Larabars also call for a ½ cup of unsweetened coconut. I'm gonna throw that into the bowl as well. Okay, so my food processor sucks, and these dates are not that soft. So it didn't turn out the greatest ever, but as long as you have some kind of like a mushy paste, then it should be good. If you have a big food processor, then you're going to want to just throw the dates in with all your other ingredients. So that would be the cashews and the coconut. So I'm just going to throw it in the bowl and basically mix everything by hand. And so with clean hands, I'm just going to mush all this together. Basically just knead it like bread if you have to do this. Okay, so now that's all together. It might take a few minutes in a food processor. Just put it in your pan and then mush it down a bit. You can make it into whatever shape you want, bars or balls or whatever. And then you're going to take another piece of parchment with a little bit of oil on it. Smooth that out. Just to put it on top and shape your bars a bit. Okay, so now that's all nicely shaped. As you can see, mine is a little chunkier looking than a regular Larabar. It didn't look like this last time I made it because of the medjool dates, so all blended up a bit nicer, but whatever, it's the same thing. It's gonna taste the same, and it tastes awesome, and it's really good for you. So the last final step is to cover it up with that parchment and just pop it in the fridge for half an hour. Okay, so to make the same amount of the lemon pie Larabars, you're gonna need to use both raw almonds and raw cashews. So we're going to do a half cup of each of those. Okay, so for the lemon bars, I remembered that I had another kind of dates that I picked up just because I'm making a lot of these bars. So it was a different brand completely, and I think that these ones are going to work out a lot better. They seem to be a lot softer. So I think the lesson here is that all dates are not created equal. I recommend the medjool dates, or these are the ones that I am using now, Parnouche pitted dates. The other ones that I was using are these ones from Costco, which weren't great. So the softer you can get them, the better, because I think these ones are going to turn out a lot nicer. Oh yeah, this is a lot better. Check this out. See, this is the nice stuff that you want to get. So another different thing about the lemon recipe is that you use 1 1/4 cup of dates per batch. So this is actually for 2 batches. So I have my dates in there, I throw my nuts in. Those are the cashews and almonds. So the last ingredient of the lemon bars is actual lemon juice. So they call for 2 tablespoons per batch. So they also want 2 teaspoons of lemon zest, but again, I'm just gonna eyeball it. Oh, but that's mixing so much better with those nicer dates. You can really feel the difference there. Oh, these came out super nice. Look at that. Okay, so these are all firmed up now, and I took them out of the fridge. What I'm going to do next is just pop them out and cut them into either bars or squares, whatever you prefer. I like to do squares. Okay, so there's one more step, which is kind of a bonus step. You don't have to do this, but I always do it because it helps the bars hold their shape better when they're in my backpack when I'm tripping, like hiking or canoeing. And that is that I decide to dehydrate them just a little bit, like not all the way, but just dehydrate them so that some of the moisture comes out. Otherwise they kind of tend to like scrunch up and get into a ball if you're keeping them for more than a couple days. So basically all I'm doing is taking my bars, putting them in my dehydrator, and dehydrating them for just a couple of hours. So I'm gonna lay these out and then turn it on. And I just put it on the fruit and vegetable section for dehydrating. So I'll just cover that up and leave that for a couple of hours. Okay, so my bars are done dehydrating. They've been in the dehydrator for a couple hours. Here's the finished product. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and that it inspired you to maybe try this for yourself, save some money, eat something healthy out there in the woods. If you do try it, let me know in the comments down below how it turned out. If you did like this video and you'd be interested in more videos like this, be sure to click the subscribe down below. I do videos like this every Tuesday. And click right here to see another video from me, and there's plenty more like that on my channel too. See you next week. Bye.